now return to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, Episode 7 on Briar Road. A chilling escapade about a shilling's escape from the clutches of Raleigh and Pat Beat, who'd only just found it on the street. Gina, the pickpocket, is the obvious suspect, but Ryunosuke, Sholmes, and Iris happen to be passing, and the plot quickly thickens. I've got to remember all these people's voices from 20 episodes ago. Sir, Constable Raleigh Beat, reporting for duty. Thanks to the good offices of Lord Van Zeeks, I'm back on my beat here in the capital, doing my best for the good citizens of London, sir. Oh, my Raleigh, back in his Bobby's uniform. You couldn't look any more handsome if you tried. Ah, my love, you'll say the sweetest things. Oh, Pat. Oh, Raleigh. To us, Lord Van Zeeks isn't the raper of the Bailey at all. Oh no, of course not. He's the patron saint of bobbies. The patron saint? Oh yes, Pat, you're so right, my darling. Keeping us in pocket he is. On my first day back on the job, what did I find in the gutter? A shilling, my love. A whole shilling. Oh, really? I always believed in you. Always knew one day you'd find some big, small change. With just that shilling, I could buy you a cheap bunch containing a single flower, my sugar. A single flower? Oh, how romantic. Yeah, but I'm so sorry, Pat. Only moments ago, that shilling disappeared. Disappeared? But how, my love, how? I think maybe... No, I'm sure... It was this girl here, sir. You swiped my precious shilling, didn't you, sir? Oh, Jesus Christ. You cheeky little diver. I've got to do her shit again. Oh, me. You took your time getting round to me, didn't you? I thought that lovey-dovey stuff weren't ever gonna end. So, a shilling, you say? Lifted from here, were it? Don't know nothing about it. Where's the evidence, eh? Right there, the evidence is dancing round on the back of your hand, young lady. You stole it from me. You lifted it from my pocket just now. You've got a nerve stealing from a bobby. Cobblers, this coin's mine. How could you know anyway? How could you know if it was taken just now or not? Yeah, me, you don't get it, do you? We've hardly got a penny to our name, so that coin felt as heavy to me as a bar of gold. Eh? I'm telling you, the moment it left my pocket, I knew. I felt myself get a good few pounds lighter. Yep, that coin has got my blood, sweat, and tears all over it. What's the matter with you, eh? Mr. Naruhodo? Me? Sorry? When a lady's in trouble, a true gent's supposed to be there to help. Straight away, not an hour later. This isn't my fault. I haven't stolen anything. Well, what about you, eh, Sholmes? I thought you were supposed to be a great detective. Me, Miss Lestrade. You took your time getting around to me, didn't you? I thought that long dispute was never going to end. Yeah, you said give us a minute when we spotted out. Why do we need so many characters here with voices right now? When we spotted you over the road and said hello. That was 10 minutes ago, Ginny. We've just been standing here listening to you quarrel with this bobby. Do beg your pardon, madam. We shouldn't be troubling the public with the least business. That shilling belongs to us, doesn't it, Raleigh? Of course it does, my love. It's just for you and me, my darling. 11 minutes of this crap. This was just supposed to be a nice stroll with Iris and Mr. Sholmes before afternoon tea. Why did we have to run into another fiasco on Briar Road? I don't really see how we could be of any help, Gina. There's no way of knowing who the coin really belongs to if it was just dropped in the gutter. I wouldn't be so sure of that, Bruno. But I have a feeling I might know the answer to the question of whose coin that is. Ah, my bright young fellow lodger. Let us hear your deduction. Well, there's actually a reason why I suggested a stroll down Briar Road. Oh, what reason? You see, I was here yesterday and, well, I dropped a little something. So I wanted to come and look for it while enjoying an afternoon stroll. Wait, you dropped something? You don't mean... It was the pocket money that Hurley gave me. What's this, Iris? You dropped that, did you? I'm so sorry. I went to the market on Lime Street yesterday to pick up some herbs, you see. But on the way I must have dropped it. The 1 shilling coin you gave me. Oh. A 1-bob bit. Yes, and when I thought back over the route I took, I realized I must have dropped it here. Constable, you haven't seen it, have you? It's all my pocket money, and now it's gone. Well, I'm afraid I don't know anything about that, young lady. What rotten luck dropping your money like that. Sorry. I dare say the constable and his companion could give you a run for your money with their wide eyes. It's all the same to you, Mr. Sholmes. I think I'd prefer not to be used as the yardstick for looking guilty. Well, it's tough really, isn't it, Iris? You dropped it, so it ain't yours no more. It ain't yours no more. Anyway, you know what they say. What goes around comes around, so don't feel bad. Bad luck, Iris. It doesn't look like you're going to get your coin back. Oh, I believe I've lost it, and straight after Hurley gave it to me as well. Yes, regrettable indeed. I seem to recall that particular coin was rather significant. What do you mean significant? To be specific, it was especially significant to you, Runo. Significant to me? You don't mean it was the coin from last night's wager? Very same, my dear fellow. What's his head? What wager? It was a game of poker. A duel between Hurley and Runo. Poker? What a tricky card game, you mean? As a lawyer, I have the perfect poker face. You'll never be able to tell what I'm thinking, said he. But depriving Mr. Naruhodo of his entire fortune was even easier than finding that missing thoroughbred. It was so infuriating. Reliving it now still makes me grit my teeth. Sorry, Iris, I had every intention of paying you back the money I owe you, but you'll have to wait, I'm afraid. Yes, I know. Don't worry, next month is fine. Then yes, Odo, your whole fortune. It was 1 whole shilling, my entire monthly stipend, and I lost all of it. As I handed it over to Mr. Sholmes, I gritted my teeth so hard my gums started to bleed. You should probably brush and maybe floss a little bit. Please, Runo. Don't exaggerate. That's a horrible image. What about a lawyer who borrows money from a 10-year-old girl? Now that's a horrible image. I feel like my reputation with this couple has just fallen through the floor. There are few things more invigorating than taking a man for all he's worth. Don't be so pleased with yourself, Hurley. It's not as if Runo ever had a chance of winning. Wait, what? What do you mean by that? Well, using that special ink I developed, anyone could... Thank you, Iris. That will do. I'm sure this conversation is proving very dull for everyone. What's done is done. The game is over now. There's no point crying over spilt milk. Special ink, you say? Well, sir, that sounds like the sort of risky business that's right up my alley. Oh, Rolly, I love your dauntless spirit. You laugh in the face of danger. Come on then, Iris, spill it. What's this special ink about, eh? Ah, well, it's what's sometimes called invisible ink. All you have to do is write the suit and number on the reverse side of every card. And with the aid of some special clauses, the whole game's laid bare before you. Wait, you were wearing glasses last night, weren't you, Mr. Sholmes? You said something along the lines of, my eyesight appears to have suddenly worsened. And the moment you failed to question that... the moment you failed to question that as odd was the moment I knew I had won the game. Mind games, was it? Trying to throw me off with your eccentric ways? So you're telling me Sholmes could see every card what Odo had? Nani? But that's not mind games, that's blatant cheating. My dear fellow, what an accusation. Would you honestly consider me a cheat? Please, I prefer trickster. Whatever you call it, the game doesn't count now. Understand, Mr. Sholmes? Dear me. Well, out of respect for the bad grace with which you take defeat, allow me to return your shilling. Did you hear that, Gina? So give it here. Eh? Leave me out of this. This here one bob bit was mine from the start, no question. No, sir, that there one bob bit was lifted from this here Bobby's pocket only a few minutes ago. So you keep saying. Come on then, where's the evidence? Eh? The law, right, is all about evidence. I know my stuff. You see, Mr. Naruhodo, use a trite excuse in court and others will parrot it. Only whenever I do say that in court, it isn't a trite excuse, you know. As I said, sir, that coin has got my blood, sweat, and tears all over it. That's right, it has. Rolly's blood, sweat, and tears are the evidence. So we can use Iris's gun, then? Glad you say. In that case, it's time for this. So this takes place after the court, because that was introduced in the last case. So either this happened as an interstitial thing in between one of the acts, or this definitely happens afterward. But then Gina would be in jail, so this has to happen somewhere in between the Hound of the Baskervilles mission. What the hell? Do you think? Well, if there's any trace of blood on that coin, we'll soon know about it. All right, Ginny, hold very still. Hey, what? Look at that. See there on the coin? It's clearly changed color. In other words, there is blood on the coin. Once again, as I said, sir, that would be my blood, sweat, and tear. Oh, wait, I've seen blood turn that color before. Yes, I know whose it is. I know whose coin it is. What? The rightful owner of this blood-stained shilling is... Bruno. Not me. From the appearance of the blood, I would say it is quite fresh. Left within the last 24 hours. Within the then in that case... So, this is the coin what Sholmes had off Odo last night in the poker game? Oh, Bruno, do you mean you really did make your gums bleed? I told you, I was so infuriated to lose, I had to grit my teeth as I handed over the money. Blimey, you're as hard up as me by the sound of it, and I thought you had a proper job. Come on, Gina, just hand it over, would you? A shilling, that's rightfully mine. Ah, fine, alright then. Just stop your bleeding staring. I finally have it back. It's like a dream come true, except now I owe it to Iris. Oh, I nearly had that one in the bag, you know what? That's wonderful news, Reno. I'm so happy for you. Now then, as you promised. I'd like my money back, please. The shilling I lent you before. You did say that you'd pay it back out of this month's pocket money, didn't you? Yes. Well, then, I suppose. My dear fellow, do be kind to your gums. It looks like that shilling was always destined to be taken from you, sir. For some reason, the phrase "serves you right" is floating around in my head. So, Iris, as promised, here is the shilling I owe you. Oh, you're repaying me already? Well, thank you. Next month would have been fine, though. What's it all about, anyway? What are you lending Odo money for? Ah, yes, well, actually, it's because I went to the Lime Street Market yesterday to buy herbs. For Bruno. Herbs? For Odo? Yes, the tea Mr. Sato left behind is top quality Gyokuro tea, but it's just so bitter. Gyokuro. So when Iris suggested mixing it with some herbs to make it more palatable, I asked her to buy me some. That's right. We've made a special Japanese herbal tea with the leftover gyokuro. I'm going to call it Susie's Special Blend. I do hope you'll try it. The excruciating bitterness clings to the throat if you can persuade the bright green gloop to leave the cup. Why, it sounds quite delicious. Yeah, right. No, we're not done? Well, it would appear the shilling's brief adventures are now at an end. Adventures? You must agree, my dear fellow, that the coin has made a considerable journey since last night. Let's see, originally it was the coin I was supposed to give to Iris to pay her for the herbs. And then in our poker duel last night, it passed to you, Mr. Sholmes, who gave it to Iris as spending money. But then I dropped it here sometime yesterday. Then my beloved Raleigh found it a little while ago and picked it up, before it was lifted from my pocket by this here diver. I then used my why are we doing this? We just saw this. Then I used my favorite gun to show up the blood that was on it. And let slip about Sholmes' little scam in his card game last night. The annulment of which resulted in the coin returning to the ownership of Mr. Naruhodo, allowing me to pay Iris the money I owed her, after all, for the herbs she'd bought in order to make Susie's special blend tea. And now, after all that, the coin is resting safely in my pocket. Yeah, you're right. That was an adventure. What are we supposed to take away from it, eh? This 1 shilling coin belongs to Iris, and Iris alone, I think. I cannot fault your observation, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, you know what they say. What goes around, comes around. Why do I get the feeling that Iris knew it was coming around to her from the very beginning? Priceless, as they say. Well then, my dear fellow, how about this evening we indulge in some bitter tea and a bitter rematch? I'll even allow you to stake the coming month's spending money in advance. Fold. So the moral of the story here is that the well-to-do middle class, Sholmes and his 10-year-old assistant, now have money, and Patches the poor patrolman is stiffed. His luck was worse than mine. What a happy ending. Okay, I'll see you next time.